Oh my goodness, how the heck is it going, everybody? Caffeine Fox here with another one of those juicy, delicious videos. And today, I got the juiciest. So it's been kind of a little bit of time since I've done one of these con videos, right? Of like what to do at a con. And I'm gonna kind of cover something I really haven't seen other YouTubers kind of dive into. Either that or I'm just not paying attention to it. But that is being a decent con roomie. So if you go to a con, chances are you're probably going to be rooming with somebody. You know, unless you got like fat stacks to burn and you could just get a room to yourself, then this video doesn't apply to you. Don't even think about it. But if you do have to share a room with somebody, using these tips will make sure that you're going to have a good convention experience, or at least lead up to it. You'll have a 60% chance of having a good time. So the first fursuited elephant in the room to address whenever you're rooming with somebody at a con is to get the money talk out of the way. When you're getting a room, unless you have an arrangement where somebody's just like, yeah, you could stay for free, don't even worry about spending a dime, I got you. That's probably not going to happen. Everybody usually pools their money together, like to PayPal or something else, to pay for the room and divide it among themselves. So that way, instead of spending $1,000 for the weekend, you could just spend $200. It just depends on the number of people there, right? Simple division. Getting this talk out of the way first is great, because if you bring this up, like at the end of the con, right? Like you're already driving home and you're getting ready to become a normie again for a little bit of time. It just makes everything super complicated, and people might even like dip out, right? Like if you're the one who bought the room and you're waiting on other people to pay you back, you don't want to be like out of the money, right? Hopefully you're a good furry. If you're watching this, hopefully you're a good furry and you wouldn't pull anything like this. But I've seen cases where people have gone to a con and then just not paid for their room. It just dipped. I mean, like, sure, you can put like a beware out on the internet, but like you're still out that money. Definitely get the money talk out of the way first. The next one is to communicate your plans with your roommates. So if you plan on going to a bunch of parties at like 11 at night or something like that, and people in your room like to go to bed early, the last thing they want to do is have somebody just drunkenly stumble into their room at like 2 in the morning and wake everybody up. So like communicate your plans. It's gonna save a lot of headaches and frustration and annoyed roommates. Now this next one is kind of for me, because this probably doesn't apply to a good chunk of furries. But if you're a snorer, right? Like if you snore all the time, I've been told I snore like a freight train. You don't want to keep everybody up. That's just inconsiderate, right? You want to be kind to your roommates, because if they're not getting any sleep, you're going to have a terrible convention, and they're going to be sure to let you know about it. They'll be the first. So every convention, I just pack like snore strips, and it helps, right? Like it's better to do that, like to get rid of that snoring. So you've been told you snore, might want to bring some snoring strips, or like sleep on multiple pillows, something like that. The next one shouldn't need any explaining. It kind of feels like a lot of these shouldn't need explaining, but we're gonna do it anyway. And that is to be a decent human being. Look, I know you're at a convention for animal people and growling and barking and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, we're all still humans, right? Like we gotta keep that in mind. So by being a decent human being, I'm talking about like not getting into fights with random people down the hallway, not putting the toilet seat down, stuff like that, making sure you clean up after yourself. So at conventions, more often than not, your room is not gonna stay the same like cleanliness that it was when you first got there. It isn't. Unless you work in a hotel industry and you know how to clean a room, it's not gonna look like how you got it. But just clean up after yourself. Like as time goes on through the con, you could have the best intentions ever, but that room by the last day is gonna start having like suitcases piled over in random areas, clothes just left in suspicious piles all over the place. It just happens. So if you have any trash from previous room parties or people coming over, just ordering food in the hotel room, clean up after yourself. The housekeeping of the hotel will be eternally grateful. And if you're kind to the housekeeping and hotel staff, chances are they're gonna be okay with having that convention there again next year. If you just kind of trash the place like a rainforest, then you're gonna have a different situation, and nobody wants that. That also includes hygiene, like making sure that you got all your shampoos and your body washes brought with you, and deodorant for sure. Oh my God, yes. Oh, there's so many stinky furries out there. So don't be a part of the problem, you know? Get some cleanliness and bring it with you. Your roommates and the con are gonna thank you for it. Look after yourself and other people and just be a decent human being. The next one is to not hog the bathroom. Oh my goodness. The bathroom is kind of like sacred territory, right? Like you only got one of them. And if you're up on like the second or even like 6th floor of the hotel, if you want to use that bathroom, you got to take the elevator all the way down and then find the bathroom and hope there's not a line, right? So this bathroom is the nexus. When you have a place that's as important as that, you want to be sure that you're not just like spending 40, 50 minutes or more in the bathroom just hogging up the whole thing. Your roommates might have to go. You got to be like super aware that you're not spending too much time in there. Nobody likes a bathroom hog, and that's not a good memory you want to have for a convention. The next one is to make other friends at the convention. I understand if you went to the con with your friends, and even if you went to the con without your friends, having other friends at that convention will kind of guarantee that you don't bug your roommates. You could have the best friendship ever with your roommates at a con, but if you're around somebody 24/7, that has the potential to kind of like, drive you nuts. Try at least make an effort to meet other people at the con so that you can have even more opportunities to unwind and talk to new people. You'll find out that you have a lot more in common with other people than you thought. And I would have to say the last one that I can think of right now is to keep in touch after the con's over. If you're a really good roommate, right, like you followed all of my steps and you get like the certificate of authenticity of being the best furry you could ever be, you got that 5-star Yelp rating. Keep in touch with the people you roomed with, because chances are if you've been a good roommate up to this point and you really haven't caused any troubles, there's a good chance that they'll bring you back again. Not even just to that con. You could have created a solid group of friends that are con roomies and you go to all sorts of different cons. It happens. Don't drop that communication. I know there's probably like an entire encyclopedia of things to not do at a con room to ensure you get invited back again. If I missed any, and I certainly did, let me know in the comments down below. How are you doing your part to become a good roommate? If you like this content, feel free to like and subscribe and hit that bell button for some juicy notifications, and I will see all of you on the next video. Oh my goodness, be a good roommate.
I'd like to give a huge thank you to the following Gold Egg patrons: STL Motovlogs, Blueberry the Husky, Chase Husky, Sparkle, Ashiro Pony, Moodle, DH, Apollo Bunny, Funtime Wolf, Dynamo, Emerith Cantonine, and Cinder Kitten. And I'd like to give a huge thank you to all of my other patrons and supporters as well. If any of y'all want to consider becoming a patron, check me out on the link above.